Hi, welcome back to the next segment in our canvassing presentation. We're going to be looking at body language and speech. Let us explore speech first. So, one of the most important things to do when you're actually out there approaching employees and actively talking to them is to ensure that you're speaking clearly to them. Ensure that your pronunciation and your enunciation is very clear and very specific and precise to them. When you're talking to different employers out there, you can get a bit nervous and a bit anxious, especially when you're leading up to approaching employers. So you need to be aware of your pitching, which is the tone of your voice going up. So imagine a young teenage boy and their voice is cracking. So that's where your pitching tends to go off. And also your speed as well too with your speech. When people are nervous, sometimes their speed of their speech tends to actually increase. And so what you want to try and do to limit the feelings of feeling anxious is to actually breathe. It's a very important exercise. So before you actually go up and approach an employer, it's probably best to take a few deep breaths just to be able to calm yourself down and to regather your thoughts and to also release the tension from your body. Try to remain calm in this situation. It's very important because the nervousness will come out within your voice when you actually start speaking. However, once you start mastering this, your speech will actually become a lot more clearer. You'll be able to notice when your pitching levels tend to go off, and you'll be able to correct them yourself. Okay. Next, body language. So body language is very important. It can subconsciously reveal a person's emotions. So talking to someone and you're standing in front of them with your arms folded can really be perceived as somebody who's adopting an extremely negative stance to whatever the person's saying. And it can give the other person the impression that you don't actually want to talk to them or you are disagreeing with the way that you are speaking, the way that they are talking to you. So you need to be aware of some of the body language that you're giving off, even the way that you're holding yourself. Even for a person like myself, I prefer to fold my arms across my body just to hold in my fat stomach. That's the reason why I do it. However, other people perceive that as somebody who is not wanting to listen to them speaking. So be very aware of those sort of stances, and also how you hold yourself. When you're speaking to an employee, it's best to actually push your shoulders back and actually talk to them confidently about who you are as a person and what sort of skills that you have. Make sure you adopt a very positive posture and a positive stance whilst you're talking to employers, and you should try and practice those sort of stances in front of the mirror. We'll also include in here a little video clip which you can click on with one of our links and you'll be able to see body language in action. An important thing to do would be to film a mock interview which can show up any nervous impulses that you may have as well too, so such as leg shaking, lip biting, hair twirling, finger cracking, any sort of fidgeting. Those are some of the little subconscious things that people actually look at when people are engaging them in a conversation. People want to see, are you truly listening to what I'm trying to tell you, or what we're speaking about, or is your mind preoccupied with other things? Also be aware of slouching when your handshakes as well too. So you don't want to give a limp fish handshake. You want to give a nice solid handshake without being too forceful. And also be aware of your facial expressions. When you're actually out there speaking to employers, or even if you're talking on the phone too, try smiling a bit, and that will lessen the tension within your own voice, and the employer will most probably smile back at you. So moving on to this body language exercise. So discuss as a group certain habits which you believe are distracting in terms of your body language, and also you may want to expand this out into speech. Now discuss as a group body language which could be perceived as being negative, and also body language that can be perceived as being positive. Now, individually note what your own personal habits are like and what they reflect. It's very important that after these discussions that you reflect back on your own little habits and traits that you have when you are speaking to other people. It's very important to do a good self-assessment, um, because you may find that some of the the personal habits that you have or the body language that you have, it may be hindering your ability to get employment. Anyway, this is the end of our body language segment. I will be joining you again to finish off our canvassing presentation. Thank you and enjoy.